Today there is a 4-year anniversary on a report to the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. I filed that report in April of 2017. In June, I'm sorry, in July of 2017, I got a letter dated from June of 2017 from the executive board of the Texas Veterans Commission saying I should contact the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. I had already contacted them. I'm not going to speak anymore about that. I believe that they were overtly engaged in acts of terrorism and they were attempting to recruit me. The problem is, these acts of terrorism were aided and abetted by a communist conspiracy of individuals alleging themselves to be lawyers and judges, abusing not only the state government, but also their access to federal resources, including in manners that position themselves as government officials within the federal government. And to this day, nobody has called it out for what it is. This isn't about bankruptcy or some sort of financial solvency. See, the big problem here is you're not talking to a jingoist that was anti-communist because she was a major supporter of the free market and its concepts of liberty, including in terms of consumer choice. You're talking to somebody whose early life was devoted to laying a foundation for democratic participation, including economic democracy, wherein we were able to be the owners of the means of production, including our own intellectual capital production and intangible property creation. You're not talking to whoever would have been identifiable as a legitimate enemy. In the course of that, it has become so pervasive that regardless of whatever else would have been identified as the justification, what ended up happening is it became so diseased and pernicious that it literally qualifies as treason. And here's the problem. Even if there was a consideration, and I'm talking to you as what could potentially have been my colleagues if you weren't so mired in alternative justifications for this treatment, even if there was an understanding that you had an ally or a relationship with another entity that had a rightful, legitimate criticism of the operationalization of matters within the United States, what you did to your own people is so intolerable that it necessarily demands that you be made an example of in a comparable manner. And what you did is you removed from public consideration the sensibility of somebody that would have been authentic, regardless of what the authenticity was. That also includes admitting when you're wrong. And yet you still expected that person to be responsible for meeting public obligations that were exploited by private actors with their own private agendas. What do you understand would be the equivalent demonstration of behavioral reconditioning after you are made to understand how you've previously behaved was completely unacceptable? This involves premeditated murders of people masquerading falsely as a health care need. What do you expect to be your behavioral reconditioning? How is it expected to be accomplished? What do you understand you owe for this?